allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, just so you know, you decide who makes the motion and who seconds it.
What's the magic way?
Yeah. The first is the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Public comment. This is the time if anybody in the public has something to say that's not on the agenda, you are encouraged to address us on that, and there's nobody. No.
No, okay.
Okay, we need to get administrator's report.
All right, so first, welcome everybody who is here. And gentlemen, Lacey, thank you for being here. So I would like to start first of all with kudos to lots of people. So student recognition. So we had a team of students getting ready to go to state. So there was Charlie Adamson, Courtney Preble, Russell Preble, and Haley Sherman. They're getting ready to go to state for robotics in Bozeman. And last week on Friday, the roads were terrible. Roads were closed from Big Timber all the way to Billings, and then the Butte Pass, I heard from somebody I work with, ended up having traffic jackknifed on it, and they closed the highway in Missoula. The sheriff's department did, so they didn't go, which was very sad. But they did a great job, and they're going to make a video, which is very cool, so I'm excited about the video. Can't wait to see it. So, but congratulations to all of those kiddos, and hopefully next year they'll get to go, because they'll be, some of the 8th graders, they'll still get to be in competitions like that, so that's exciting. We have the county spelling bee coming up on Wednesday, the 26th at 1:30 at Glacier High School. So our spelling bee representative this year is Shelby Hutchendorf, and she is a 6th grader. And the runner-up is Courtney Preble, so they will both be at the competition on Wednesday, and Shelby will be competing. Then we had, not too long ago, last week or the week before, I can't remember, I didn't put the date, but we had awards for students for attendance most improved and outstanding. So for outstanding attendance in grades K through 3, we had 16. For outstanding attendance in grades 4 through 8, we had 24. So outstanding means you missed less than 2 days of school. For perfect attendance, that means you have missed 0 minutes. So grades K through 3, we had 30. For perfect attendance, in grades 4 through 8, we had 8. For most improved math, science, reading, ELA, in grades K through 3, we had 22 kiddos. For most improved math, science, reading, ELA, grades 4 through 8, we had 25. For outstanding math, science, reading, ELA, grades K through 3, 24. For outstanding math, science, reading, and ELA, in grades 4 through 8, we had 36. And then we had 26 students nominated for citizenship awards, so the total awards given were 211 awards. It's really great. I love, the kids love it. I love giving the awards out, and they are excited.
Can I make a request?
Yes.
Because I didn't know about it. Kim would love to come down for that kind of stuff.
Okay, so to let her know?
To let me know or her know, yeah.
You bet. So we always have it in the newsletter, and then when the awards assemblies are going to be. Yeah, we should put you on the newsletter.
Then you just get it in your email. I'll email Trish right now.
Okay. So you bet. So that's just really fun. And then when they do the citizenship, the kids get to speak into the microphone and explain what citizenship means to them. And I take a child from every grade level. And this time our 8th graders didn't want to speak, so we had the 7th graders speak twice, which was interesting because last year we had an 8th grader that always wanted to speak every time. So you just never know, right? So very fun. So that's exciting, and it's a great number. That means, if we have 180 kids in our school, 211 kids received awards, so that's really fantastic. And I always have the students stand up at the end. If you receive an award, please stand up, and it's always almost all of them, so which is really great. Then for staff recognition, our staff member of the month this time, I want to go through, first of all, our individuals who were recognized. So for being professional and trustworthy, Mrs. Bradford and Ms. Digley, it was a tie. For being approachable, Mr. Connors, Ms. Getting, and Mrs. Matulovich, it was also a tie. For being adaptable and flexible, Mrs. Scalaney. For adhering to school policies and procedures, Mr. Connors. For being a team player, helpful and supportive, Mrs. Scalaney. For being a good communicator, it was a big tie. Mrs. Bradford, Mr. Connors, Mrs. Matulovich, Ms. Nelson, Mrs. Scalaney, and Mrs. Specht. For seeking to self-improve, Mr. Connors. For being patient yet expecting accountability, Mr. Connors and Mrs. Matulovich. For being involved and a school leader, Mrs. Matulovich. And for demonstrating understanding of child development, Mrs. Matulovich. So the actual selectee by staff for the award of Staff Member of the Month was Mrs. Matulovich. She received 19 votes. And the perks that she gets school-wide recognition. So she's recognized on our speaker system and in her classroom in front of her class. And then she gets a bulletin board feature, which will be all about her, and a newsletter feature. She'll have reader board recognition, a certificate of achievement, and she receives a small gift card for myself from Montana Coffee Traders or Cold Stone Creamery. She took the Coffee Traders card, and she gets preferred parking for the month. So those are very cool things. They're fun, and it's always fun to see what pictures and memorabilia people come up with for themselves, and then I put up a board for them. So it's a fun thing. For professional development, we had Mrs. Kennedy, Ms. Hanson, and myself recertify in CPI, which is Crisis Prevention Institute. And then on the 26th, we have Ms. Kelsey, Mr. Brown, Ms. Evanson, and Mrs. Marquardt. They are attending. We had PAX, PAX means peace, so we have our PAX program at school. We had PAX visits to Cayuse Prairie School in February, so grades 5 through 6 teachers and 7 through 8 teachers. They go for a 3-hour visit. They visit classrooms, plus they visit with the PAX leaders and see how the PAX program works. And PAX is all about positive reinforcement and being preventive. Kids get to do fun, zany things called Granny's Wacky Prize, like laying on the floor and kicking their legs in the air or rolling your eyes at a teacher or whatever it is that they, just little tiny things that make a big difference to them. And then, as Mrs. DeLong said just now, they attended an AI and cybersecurity workshop, Mrs. Matulovich and herself, which is very interesting. Ms. Nelson, you went to, is that correct? Mm-hmm. Yes, so it's interesting. It's alarming, wouldn't you say, that
Absolutely.
The things that can happen with breaches and cybersecurity. So last year when I attended the boardsmanship leadership training, we had a presentation on that, and it's alarming what they can get into when they hack your system. It's pretty amazing. So staff celebrations, I'd like to congratulate Ms. Hanson and our special ed team because we passed our special education audit with flying colors. And I have
Thank you.
a letter here that I would like to read. This is from OPI. Dear Superintendent Matt, this letter provides you and your staff with the results of the compliance monitoring for Smith Valley Elementary conducted on January 27th. The purpose of this review was to determine whether Smith Valley Elementary is fully meeting its responsibilities to ensure that educational programs for children with disabilities are administered in accordance with the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, IDEA, its implementing regulations, and the administrative rules of Montana. Based on the review of 2 full student records, the Office of Public Instruction determined that the district has met the standards for compliance. Attaches the Special Education Compliance Monitoring Report for Smith Valley Elementary School. And they actually gave me the report for Cayuse Prairie, so that didn't work for us. But so I sent an email and I think we got the wrong report. But anyway, we passed, and I received another email confirming that too. I want to thank you and your staff for the outstanding cooperation during the monitoring period. If you have specific questions regarding this report, please contact me. So acknowledgements, the monitor noted and commended Smith Valley Elementary for its PLAF and MAG alignments, uploaded signature pages, and file organization. And I would like to compliment personally Ms. Hanson because she does an amazing job. She is extremely organized and to the book with regard to these IEPs and the paperwork that goes with. So good job.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Nicely done.
And then events, we have the STEM Fair February 20th, that's this week for grades 3 through 8. Chili Cook-Off February 21st. calendar committee meeting, February 26th, kindergarten roundup, March 10th, coming up. Then with regard to our facilities, the portable has cameras, phones, and alarm system in process. We are able to use the current alarm that we have. All they have to do is disengage the previous code from the previous company, and then we can use a new code, and so that's awesome. We don't have to pay extra for that. And then the ADA ramp is weather dependent, so we were supposed to get it put up 3 weeks ago, but it was like deathly cold, like you could die if you were out there working. So it's like, I'm not gonna have people die on my watch, not just to put up a ramp, so that's not happening. So we are working on getting that going. We had the roundabout meeting here in the gym, and some of you I know got to attend. So the work was scheduled to begin in 2026, and now they had moved that to 2027, and everything is still in draft stages. So that is my report. You may have it. Yes. And I'll
You
give
can type that fast?
I just decided.
I'm going to. Just trying to- I think this is a. I can put this up here as a copy. You can have it. Yep. Thank you.
Other than the delay on the roundabout, was there any other discussion or?
So I did talk to them about considering Batavia Lane, about considering something to slow traffic down. And they said, well, that's not our responsibility. Our responsibility is this main highway.
Yeah,
And I said,
that's
but
all
you're
right.
putting a roundabout here, and I said, you're going to have a section leading into the roundabout. I said, if there's any way we can extend that, I said, we have a blind hill right there. If there's any way that we can, make the middle section wider or something, just so that people don't come barreling over the hill. There's so much chance that somebody or something is going to get smashed from a car. You just never know, a kid on a bike could be out there, somebody could be crossing the street, somebody could be waiting to turn in and start to turn in a small vehicle, and because they're literally, 55, 65 miles an hour going down that road. So I asked them, and the lady did say that she would see what they could do. So she said, probably not, but she said that she would bring it to their attention as a concern.
Yeah, it's interesting, the entrance to the roundabout is probably gonna extend up Batavia here almost to the school.
If they can find enough land to buy.
Was that the issue?
Well, it's not wide enough right now.
I didn't think they had to buy it.
Well, they can destroy it. They still have to buy it, but yeah, they can do eminent domain.
Because they have 15 feet, right? It's 15 feet from the highway over, is that correct? That's like just
It might be,
county road.
it might be more.
It's 40 feet wide. They have to have 40 feet on the road and 15 on each side as right of way. But they still have to have 15. I
Right.
mean, if they move, they have to move everything.
And one thing they didn't plan on was the fact that Kelly Ray's just burned. And so they had all of these diagrams for entrances into Kelly Ray's, and I said, they just purchased this lot next to them. I said, I don't know what their business is
They're
going
gonna
to look
build,
like.
they were going to build back there, so.
So, but as far as entrances and getting in, I said, I don't know if they're going to want those entrances where they were originally planned. I said, you need to talk to Kelly Ray's.
Yeah. And I don't-
They're like, oh, we didn't
Lakes-
even know that they bought that property.
Yeah, well, it's just,
So,
the sad part is they've already decided what they're gonna do, whether they have meetings or not.
and they were called on that at the meeting. There were quite a few irate people that were.
It's because of the way funding works. They get more money to build a roundabout than to put a light in. And I don't know that a light would make a difference anyway, but.
Okay, well, it's my turn.
Yes, it's your turn.
Keep us on track.
Keep us on track. Good job. She's like, I want to go home. This needs to
How's
be a
your
short
shoulder, by the
meeting.
I have surgery next Thursday.
Oh, it's next Thursday. I thought
Yeah,
it was
that's
already.
3 now. That's the 3. I've decided that, I'm not gonna say it in the board meeting recorded.
We don't pay attention, I'll say it. I thought it was like 2 weeks ago too.
Actually, that's 4 because it's been the male gentleman that we work with as well, but I already had it. So I think reading fully the email was difficult.
Too many words.
Maybe it was the way you wrote it.
Yeah, at least somebody said it, right? At least somebody finally said it. Jason didn't think that wittily. Okay.
And being recorded.
Okay, let's continue.
Okay, on track. So really quickly, I just want to put on the cash report, the PJ Club's still very much in the black, as you can see. I say very much, it's like $1,500, so it's in the black, which is what we're attempting to do. We haven't been in the black, so that's why I say very much, right, we're in the black. But things to consider as we head into next year, one of the things that Mrs. Matt and I just kind of touched on today, just things to think about as we go into formulating a plan for next year, is the amount of administrative time it takes for, well, it's Judy in our case, because that's who does the billing for the PJ Club, to do the different rates. Since the board approved if you prepay up front for a week at a time, it's $10 a day versus it's $12 a day if you don't do that. All of that has to be done manually on the back end, because there isn't a way to automate that as far as the formula goes. So just food for thought, something to think about. It might make sense to split the difference and make it $11 a day flat rate, because we're gonna save money on the admin side.
Difference is.
Yeah, on who's
Number of
paying 10
kids,
versus
yeah.
12 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I could see if she can get us some of that information as we get closer, but just, we were talking about it today, kind of wanted to bring it up, start the wheels kind of spinning about what makes sense. Discounted rates are great, but the reality is PJ Club is a prepaid program regardless. So currently, in order to get the $10 a day rate, they're having to specify essentially that it's for a week, right? And they lose it, or it's a use it or lose it, right? So anyway, food for thought for another day, okay? The only other one I wanted to bring attention to is that report I've been attaching every time with the student attendance agreement totals. We did go up by 1, we went down by 1 in the middle school, but up by 2 in the elementary. So we're up to a solid 180 at the moment. And I think that's all I have, unless anyone has any questions.
No, it's good to see the attendance is kind of leveling out.
Yeah.
And stay like that, at least we know we've got that part whipped.
Yep. And I don't know if you're following the legislative session at all, it's going to be very interesting. We'll see what happens for school funding and all these things. So,
It's been interesting, all right.
interesting is a good way to put this session.
Last night was quite interesting.
Yeah, so that's all I have. So we're gonna move on to the action
Okay, action
agenda.
agenda. I need a motion to hire.
So I'd like to
Oh, okay.
I'd like to table this, so number 1, 2, 3, 4, because there's been a scheduling conflict and one of our people can't coach
Can't do
all the
both.
time, so we are gonna meet, the
Okay.
coaches and myself are gonna meet and see what we can work out, so I'd like
And
to
this
table
doesn't
this for
start
next
until
meeting. Doesn't start till
April
after
anyway.
spring break, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay,
So I'd like to table that, sorry, I should have said that at the beginning.
tabled.
Do you guys have to make a motion to table it, Bob? Or not?
No. Should not have to.
Because it's possible action, right?
It's possible action.
True.
300 building discussion. You're not here.
Well, so I was
you were at
hoping,
the meeting.
yeah.
We didn't have a meeting.
Yeah, we haven't had meetings, but we have had people, I was hoping that Joe would be here, because I'm not sure where he is, I haven't talked to him. I have a guy that came in, and he looked at everything, he kind of knows our rough budget and everything. He thinks it's totally doable, and the way he was talking, I think he would want to act as a general contractor. And, cause there were certain things, electrical and stuff, he's like, well, I've got a guy that knows more about this, I'm gonna call him, and I think the electrician did come and see it. But he was very optimistic, and he said if we can get people to donate materials and stuff like that, he said that he'd totally be able to work with that and do that. I told him not to get us any sort of a quote or anything, or a bid, because we were still trying to figure out.
We'll have to open it to bids.
Right.
Yeah.
This was a contractor you met with?
Mhm.
Okay.
So we'll have, we don't want a quote from him yet
No.
because
Yep.
it has to be blind bid. But that can be,
Yeah, so, and I'm not sure, Joe said he had some people, I think
parents from the school that he wanted them to look at it. And I don't know where that's at.
And that would be my preference, if they can meet the bid, that if we can get somebody to work from the school.
Yeah, definitely.
And I haven't heard from anybody. It's been in the newsletter and on the website, and I haven't gotten a single phone call from anyone.
Okay. So,
Remind me, are they all bidding the same bucket of work, or is it just
well, we kind of, we know what we need to do, so.
Yeah, so like,
minimums?
we went in for a couple hours and talked about, he went through, looked at everything, looked at what you could on the ceiling. Obviously, there was a foot of snow. Looked at the walls. That's when we possibly found mold that we will have to look into in the crawl space. It wasn't debated. And then he kind of looked at the electrical, looked at, we had a question about if we needed to add a fire suppression system or not. And then everything else was pretty straightforward. He said it was in a lot better shape than he would have thought, so it was good.
That's, yeah.
And he specializes in remodel and repair, not new construction too, so that's kind of nice too.
And as far as the roof goes, we do have a bid on the roof, I believe. That, it's not gonna be any good, but we do know about what that's gonna cost.
Okay. But yeah, budget-wise, I feel better about it than I did a year ago. So I'll talk to Joe and we'll come up. I think it'd be a good time to schedule a meeting soon.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
Flat Election Department.
Oh yeah, hold on. Sorry. Okay. So, the Flathead County Election Department has agreed to run the school, that was my face too, agreed to run the school elections for the county. So it's not just us,
What's
it's
the trick?
all school districts. The trick is there's a new election administrator, and one of the clerks in the valley has been meeting with her and talking and creating a partnership.
Do we have
And
to pay? Does it cost us?
it costs us, like the materials of the, the cost
It
of
would
the
cost us
materials.
that anyway.
It costs us the same things that it would cost us. The
Yeah, but
election
it doesn't
materials.
cost us a headache.
Correct. The election materials,
We have to pay the
election judges, which we already pay election judges. The count would be held at the county, so there's no, like there was a few years back, or when you run a bond or a levy, there's always that underlying, that can be an underlying sense in the community of the school districts are cooking their own results, right? That does happen. It happens county-wide. We've heard about it. It hasn't been an issue here, but it always has the potential to be. So that's something that it eliminates, is ballots get turned in there. People can still turn their ballots in here. We can be a collection spot, and then we transport them to the county, and that's where they actually go. So the county, the other reason why this is great is because the county is gonna print out like a ballot. So for example, if you live in Flathead High School District, and the high school is running something, they're gonna print all of the things to get, so you'll get a ballot for Smith Valley, Flathead High School, whatever it is, it'll come in one envelope. So there's not all these ballots that you have to take to all these different locations, which I don't know how many times when I was at Kalispell that we got ballots from other districts because nobody knows where to turn the ballots in, or vice versa. We got a couple for Kalispell here last year. So it eliminates that. Anyway, it's basically what everybody's been begging for years. It's happening all across the state. This has already been going on, but not in Flathead. And now we finally have a new election administrator that is not only willing but able to do this. And they've written an MOA, so they've written a memorandum of agreement. I don't know if you guys had an opportunity to read it, but it's pretty straightforward. My only question on it was that it says on election day we have to be open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., which it's always been 8 to 8. but I emailed her. She said that they are open 7 to 8, so she recommended we do the same. And I mean, it's an
That's
hour,
all it
so
takes.
that's what I said. I was
Yeah.
like, okay. I was just clarifying because I wanted to make sure that all my documents matched because everything else said 8 to 8. So I changed everything to match what they put in our MOA. So, yeah, super great news for all the districts in the valley. So, but you guys have to approve it. You have to vote on it and approve it, and then, because it's a change, obviously, and then we can sign the MOA and take it to the county.
I
So,
move-
I need a motion to accept the MOA.
I'll move to make a motion to accept the MOA with Flathead County Election Department.
I will second that motion.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? After both the I hear both
Did you vote, Dan?
Hmm? No. I don't have to. It wasn't a tie. I would have voted yes. Okay, and now I need a motion to have a trustee election
I'll make
with
a,
mail-in ballots.
I'll make a motion to have a trustee election with the mail-in ballots.
I'll second that motion.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? What do we have to do on this one, Macy? Just accept the plan,
Yes. Correct.
switch it up.
Switch it. Keep Lacey busy. I'll make a motion to approve the mail ballot written plan, timetable, and instructions for the trustee election.
I'll second that motion.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
This next one's for you, Dawn. It's the accreditation. Nope, you're okay. I'm making sure you know.
Yes.
Yes, you must explain.
So you have two documents. The first one is, the second one actually in your, the way it's on your computer, is the Smith Valley School Learner Profile, which I passed out to all of you at the last meeting. This is the one that the community selected, and I had the numbers, and I don't know where, I think they're on my other agenda, but they were like 76 to 55, I believe was the number. So this was the one that the community selected. So we had 3, and then the committee voted, narrowed it down to 2, then the community voted. And so this is the one that, with your approval, after you approve this, I can go ahead and get it printed and get it framed. So I'm thinking like just a nice big poster for each classroom would look really nice to get it framed. So I would need you to make a
Make a
motion to
motion
approve that.
to approve the Smith Valley School Learner Profile.
I'll make a motion to approve the Smith Valley Learner Profile Community Selected FY25 document.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. And I will submit that with, along with our accreditation stuff for OPI, because this is part of what we have to do. The next thing is, again, for accreditation, our professional development plan for fiscal year '26. So I don't have specific dates because we don't have our calendar developed yet, but I went ahead and put things that we need to do within a time frame of certain months. And at the very bottom are other professional activities, and depending on what our calendar looks like, after we create our calendar, we can fill those things in. So you can see one change that's different from the last 2 years is instead of having 3 back-to-school days, back-to-school PRR days, I'd like to only have 2. The reason for that is because we've added the tribal PRR day in the middle, which we did this year, and it was well received and went really well, and plus helps us meet our certification requirements. So having 2 back-to-school days, and instead of having the community breakfast, to give teachers a chance to get work done in the morning, have a community barbecue in the afternoon. so we can do that and have the kids come and have our meet and greet expectations meetings, like around 2 o'clock or something, plus the community barbecue at the end of the day. So instead of having that breakfast. But that makes our use of time more efficient. It allows teachers to get some work done, and then on the second day back to school, then we can do some safety training and go through handbooks and internet campus training, and education training, all those kinds of things. So
As long as you think you can get through everything, that's,
So these trainings on
That's
day
right,
2 would
your
they'd be short. And the first day, it's really important that teachers have that chance to gather themselves together before they meet their students and their parents. So, and that community barbecue would be great.
Cool.
I felt in both of the last 2 years, I felt that third day is excessive and we're like trying to fill it. So I want us to be expedient and make sure that we are not being wasteful with our time. And the other thing I want to talk about is January, day 7, the VR7 PIR day, developing a positive staff culture. A few years ago, I think it was 2021, maybe before that. 2019, 2018, they had this speaker, Dave Weber, come out, and he did a Sticks and Stones presentation where now they're charging a ton of money for this presentation. That it's maybe something that I can work with other school districts so that we can get like a nice venue and all go together on the money. And so, but anyway, if we can't do it because it's too expensive and we can't collaborate with other districts, then we'll look for something else. But getting somebody to come in as speaker on positive staff culture so that we don't have undercurrents within our staff. You know, we don't want people like talking about others or under others or being disrespectful, or we want it to be just a great culture. I want that, and our staff want that. And this gentleman, Dave Weber, he was recommended to me from some of our staff members and also from Laylee. Laylee said that he was a great presenter, and she said that even though he's been here once and done the Sticks and Stones presentation, she said sometimes it takes a second time before it really starts to sink in and people go, oh yeah, I remember that, or just a refresher and bringing things kind of a full circle just to get off on a fresh start. I think is important. So what we would need from you is a motion to approve this professional development plan so I can also submit it to OPI.
and you have options if somebody doesn't make one of these.
So we will explore options, which is why I put a question at the end of this, so we can explore. Absolutely.
I just know there's,
There are
all of these, everybody here, the chances of them making all 7 pretty slim.
Oh,
maybe.
for these PIR days, you
Yes.
mean? Oh, so these.
Because I know they're required 7 PIR
Right,
in their
right.
contract.
So these would be a part of our school calendar, so. Yes, I don't have any doubts that, so this will be great. This will be
Okay.
just what we need.
I make a motion to approve the professional development plan fiscal year 26.
I'll second that motion.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
And then the last thing I want to talk to you about with regard to accreditation, a couple of things. So first of all, there are many tabs on the accreditations page that we have to do, including making sure that teachers are appropriately assigned, making sure that our Indian Education for All plan is in effect and that we have documentation for that, making sure that we have professional development, just in process. There's so many things going on. One of the things that we had to do was that climate survey that we talked about. So I just received those results from the climate survey on Friday, and that was after we had posted this agenda. So I will go ahead and do the gap analysis and present that at the next meeting, but that information will be submitted also because that climate survey, that culture and climate is a part of the accreditation process too. So I will let OPI know that we did their survey first of all, and then I'll do the gap analysis and submit that, and then I'll let you know that I will be presenting that to you at our next board meeting.
Cool.
Okay. Correspondence.
great school. Great team.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay. Meeting's adjourned.